Yes, hello, welcome. You are listening to Radio X. It's the Russell Brand Show. Just before that, somewhat inevitably, given that it is Radio X and you're listening to Russell Brand Show, that was Noel Gallagher, Holy Mountain, which perfectly describes the man's ego. We are actually live from 10 seconds ago for obvious reasons. That 10 seconds provides a buffer between your minds and my mind, a necessary buffer. Of course, there's the English language as well, providing a little bit of a buffer, but also a connection. Let me use this skill, old mother tongue, to connect with Mr. Matt Morgan. Hello, Matt Morgan.
Hello.
Round of applause for Matt, because we've also got
Thank you.
a live audience. The big bosses are so pleased with us.
They've been awarded this.
They've awarded us this as a live show. It's the last show of the year. It's a Christmas special show. And we've got a live audience. I suppose it's a kind of litmus test to the quality of the work we're doing. So we can see in their currently disappointed faces
There was an email about children in cars that we have to be aware of.
We must remember while doing live broadcasting that children are in cars. Hopefully they're not driving those cars.
Or driving.
They're not trapped in there. They're not hostages, these children.
It's Sunday morning and that children might be in cars.
If you're a child and you're in a car, you can text us now, 83936. Look at the person driving. Is that your mum, dad or legal guardian? If not, spend the text with particular urgency. Let us know. Or you can email us, russell@radiox.co.uk. You can tweet me, of course, at Rusty Rockets. That's the name that I go by. Or you can communicate with Matt at one of his ludicrous, complex, humorous Instagram accounts.
Matt_Morgan in words.
But of course, underscore is in words. The big bosses, Matt, when they told me about this live show, they said they were so pleased. But I didn't just trust my instincts whether or not they were pleased. I glanced down into the GAM region.
Oh, no.
They were foaming at the gams with excitement at the work we'd done. They're so pleased.
They are pleased with us.
Of course they're pleased. How could you not be pleased? Look at the spectacular radio we're creating, which is humorous, insightful, intelligent, and also compassionate. And much of that compassion comes from a man that's been recently dubbed Jesus. It's Mr. G. Welcome,
Woo!
Mr. G, everyone.
He's back. He said he'd come back.
Where have you been? What have you been doing? What have you been wasting your time on now?
I've been in prison.
Right.
I've been
Knew it.
Old people's homes. Been in the Grenfell area and youth clubs, and just organising a lot of Christmas parties. I've been basically putting up tinsel like all over the world.
Really? Right.
Yeah, literally. That's my job. Just putting up decorations.
You're just going around scattering tinsel, which is very comparable to the way I lived about 10 years ago. Now, G, were you welcome in many of these places, like these prisons? What were you doing in them, for example?
Pentonville, I give shout outs to loads of places. Like Pentonville, they organise like an annual poetry competition.
I call it the Ville because I know a lot about prisons, working class culture, and crime culture in general. Because I'm quite. They do call it the Ville, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been in the Ville. Yeah.
Didn't you go to Brixton prison once?
Been in all sorts of prisons, mate. I guess because where I'm from, the streets. Tommy will know. Tommy's providing security now here today. We've got an Essex boy in here to guard us because spirits can get quite high in a situation such as this one. G, it's lovely to have you here with us.
Yeah, great
It's
to be
lovely that we've got someone here who cares about humanity and is trying to elevate the content of this show. Later on, we're going to be talking to everybody's favourite physicist. Is Professor Brian Cox will be in this room with us, explaining the wonder of the universe.
Name two other physicists.
There's the one off Breaking Bad. He's one of my most favourites. He's good. I love the way he does those physics. Oh my God, it's brilliant, isn't it? And then of course there's a very unfamiliar one. You may not have heard of this guy, Albert Einstein. Now he had lovely hair and he dabbled in physics. Those are the two things that I know about him. Brian Cox is going to be in here.
Do you remember Heinz Wolff? He passed away recently.
No, I don't remember Heinz Wolff. I'm very sorry
the mad
to hear of
inventor
his loss.
bloke.
Yeah.
Why are you talking about Heinz Wolff for?
He was on that physicist, inventor, engineering plane.
Neil deGrasse Tyson. Look, let's not name physicists. I'm very sorry for the loss of Heinz Wolff, but let's not turn this into a show where we name physicists. Not when we've got content of this quality, the kind of quality that, as you know, has our bosses very much elated and excited in ways that are physically demonstrated through obvious symptoms in the GAM region. This one is from someone calling themselves Chris Mutter. We've got no evidence that that's their actual name, of course, but we're going to take them at their word. Russell, as you're always banging on about collective consciousness, am I?
No.
Barely ever mentioned collective consciousness. Our audience here in the room, listeners, have got those bingo cards that were given to us a little while ago by a listener.
That must be on there.
Collective
unity of consciousness.
Where you can tick off the things that are regularly mentioned. Now, we've already had foaming at the gams, of course. There are various other things that sort of make up the folkloric culture of this radio show. Tick them off as they go. Play along at home. Unless you're a child in a car with a stranger, in which case, get your foot straight through that passenger window. Make your way to freedom would be my advice to you. As you're always banging on about collective consciousness and Carl Jung, I thought I'd give you some further material to raise the cultural bar and keep the suits in the global ivory tower happy, although they frankly couldn't be happier, as I've made very clear. As I'm sure G will know, William Blake had a perspective on consciousness and religious scripture that I reckon will properly tickle your fancy. It may well do. I'm a great fan of Blake, and as you know, it's normally me that tries to raise the cultural bar, whether it's by mentioning Moby Dick or by some of my interviews that I conduct. Very popular, very successful interviews with guests on the show. E.g., when Brian Cox comes up later, I'm going to be teaching him a thing or two about the expanding universe, dark matter. I wouldn't have thought so. No, you won't be. Brian, we could just replace him with some other affable mop top. No, I'm going to listen. I'm going to listen very carefully to.
I'm quite interested in the fact he used to be in D-Ream.
I know, he was in D-Ream, and D-Ream did, of course, provide the theme tune to the Tony Blair era, Dreams Can Come True.
No,
but also,
things can only get better.
Things can only get better. No, I believe it was D-Ream that said, Dreams can come true, look at Nan, she'll dance.
That'd be such a weird campaign song for Tony Blair. Dreams can come true.
All right, let's go with it then.
I mean, it's actually more positive than things can only get better.
Yeah.
It sounds like things are so bad,
yeah,
they can't get any worse.
Well, I think that's what the assumption was. Things are so bad, it can only improve from here. Let's have Tony Blair for a while. He seems nice at the moment. Then there's the death of Diana. That's going to give him a natural bump, isn't it? He did. Yep. He said People's Princess. We all loved that. But I think Dreams...
Did he coin that phrase?
She was the People's Princess. Of course he did. That was the best bit of Tony Blair.
Is that an impression?
Yep. Yeah, she was, you know... I'm a pretty reliable guy. I think he said stuff like that.
Not bad.
It's not bad, is it? As you know, I'm squiddink. That's David Attenborough there. But let's not turn this into a show where we name physicists and do sub-par impersonations of people. Not this late in the day. Now, look, we're talking about William Blake. We're talking about collective consciousness, and here's what he's got to say. Blake, a lot like Brand, literally created his own rich cosmology and mythology as he felt like the ones they were using in the 18th century were naff and unhelpful. Matt, I'm not lying to you.
You didn't say Blake a lot like Brand.
Oh, no, yeah, I did add that, yeah. Blake worked to encode his revolutionary spiritual and political ideas into a prophecy for a new age, like Brand. This desire to recreate the cosmos as the heart of his work and his psychology is what defines Blake. His myths often describe the struggle between enlightenment and free love on one hand and restrictive education and morals on the other. Now, that is a tension we can all understand. We all crave spiritual freedom. We all crave sort of emotional freedom, but we are somewhat defined by morality, aren't we, Matt?
We certainly are.
What have you got there? A hangover, is it?
A little bit, yeah.
What have you been doing? Why are you
I'm going to say happy birthday to my sister Lucy.
Happy birthday, Lucy.
I went to a party at her house. There's a point where it's just me, my mum and dad, my wife, and both my sisters and my brother dancing in a room.
That's weird, isn't it? Because what's happened there
Very
is
weird.
The domestic paradigm's been challenged, which I think should be on your bingo card. Domestic paradigm being challenged. No, it's not, is it? So that
I'm all right. I just drank a bit of champagne and now I feel a little bit...
You've tried to mask it with your haircut, haven't you? You've tried to get a haircut to mask the hangover.
This haircut's been happening for a few days.
Has it? You've been working towards that.
Hair?
I think you look very handsome. Do people in the audience like it?
Is it all right?
Muted smattering of applause there from the audience. Disapproval. Yeah, that's not good, is it, mate? When you get a new haircut, you don't want that from people. You don't want a highly conditional response from them. What you want is absolute devotion and love. Mr. G, of course, will be summarising all of this, the interview with Brian Cox, the presence of a live audience. He has started to summarise it in the form of poetry, and it's poetry that we very much missed. Last couple of shows, Matt, it's been quite difficult. We almost came to blows, didn't we, last week?
We did, yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah, you guys need to seriously...
Well, we're not
going to goodwill, right? You know,
we're not going to argue today, are we?
We've made a little pact.
Are we?
No, we're not, dear. Me and Matt have today pledged to get on very nicely in the the spirit of the season. We're going to be very
gonna mention our
loving and
various
benevolent. We're going to keep very, very upbeat and optimistic, loving and together over the course of this show. Now, let me think what else I want to do. Is anyone here in the audience who wants very much to participate? There's a lady in the front row who claims to be a pagan. Is that true, madam?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, no, I do swear.
There you go. There's the audience. They announce themselves quite casually as pagans. They deny themselves the opportunity to communicate and then threaten to swear live on air. So this is the kind of people we've allowed in here. If you are a listener at home, just enjoying your morning, or perhaps you're a child wondering who the hell that is driving you, we might think that perhaps you would have been a better contributor to the show. It would have been better to have had you there. So if you are that child, seize control of the vehicle, get yourself to Leicester Square and join us here now. Later on in the show, we're going to be reviewing Strictly Come Dancing. I'm going to be analysing it culturally, looking at the seething pit of sexuality.
I've never watched that show.
You should watch it.
Yeah, nor have I.
We'll also be talking about The Crown. We'll also possibly be talking about Star Wars. Lots of people have...
I saw it last night.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What do you think of Star Wars?
I love Star Wars.
But you feel like it's...
But yeah,
Really?
They're struggling to find the Vader character. That's what they're
do
struggling
you think,
with.
G,
Yeah.
that's because you yourself have, like Vader is deep in your early life unconscious mind?
That's what I was talking to Gareth about, where maybe we've got memories that harken back to childhood and we're trying to relive those memories that we can't quite do it. And maybe for someone like a 10, 13-year-old watching it, they'll just go, oh, wow.
Yeah, but he's not scary. Adam Driver, when he takes his mask off, is just...
Gorgeous. Drop dead. Oh my God, Darth Vader, you're evil and you're gorgeous.
When Vader took his mask
what
off,
you're
it was
doing after we've
horrifying.
blown up this Death Star?
Yeah, he's got boyish curly hair.
Yeah.
It's like a bit like it looks like you. But
Thank you very much for saying that I'm a dark and evil force. Perhaps these early imprints of mythology that we receive as children can never be relived again. Let's return to our William Blake email, because I'm very interested in trying to understand this. All right, so he's trying to understand mythology, says old Blakey. Blakey goes, I'll get you, butler, because on the buses is a reference that people have in 2017. On the buses is one of the things that people think about. It was Blake that said, if the doors of perception were cleansed, butler, everything would appear to man as it is, infinite. So the doors of perception, the apertures of the senses, inhibit our understanding of the infinite. Just one of the questions I'll be throwing into old Coxey's lap in a matter of
they
moments.
taught us Blake at school, and a lot of it's about don't go to church, walk around outside in nature. Don't
Well,
go
our
to
pagan
school.
audience member would appreciate that.
She's loving that.
Pantheism, that God is in all things.
But we were taught it at school in the rooms that he was saying you shouldn't be in these rooms.
Right.
It's a bit ironic, really.
It was ironic because you were in an institutional educational facility being told that institutions such as those were, in Blake's mind, the opposite of enlightenment and education.
Exactly.
Now, Blake's amazing. There's a poem he's got called The Poison Tree, and I read it to prisoners, and it still works today about resolving conflict.
Gee, how much cultural collateral are you hoping to wring from your one visit to a prison? Swings by a prison just once, serves up a little bit of porridge, and reads out Albert and the Lion to a few malcontents. And for the rest of his life, he's been trying to rinse it. Unlike Russell Brand, a serious drug addict who is now 15 years
15
clean.
years,
No
yeah.
drugs.
Well done.
No drugs for 15 years.
Oh, I'd like
one of
to
my
have
mates
got
says
that round of applause for my haircut.
well, that's right. It's you can't reappropriate the round of applause for my 3 secondary schools worth of drug-free life. That's 3 secondary schools, isn't it? From 1st year to 5th year, no drugs. And I wasn't
It's
taking
a
that many
weird way
drugs.
to measure time.
I've done 3 secondary schools without drugs. Don't you still measure things in times at secondary school?
No,
No?
no.
Why not?
I measure time back to 9/11 and then before 9/11. Don't want to lower the tone.
Is that what you do?
Yeah.
You're seeing life in 9/11s, and you
Doesn't
don't like my
everyone?
secondary school. No, we don't. No, we don't, mate. We mark it according to the clock, and that's another thing we'll be talking to Brian Cox about when he comes here. The true nature of time. We're going to be talking about conspiracy theories. We're going to be talking about the nature of God. We're going to be talking about Blakey from On the Buses. But before that, you must be wondering, how is this stuff funded? Surely on a man's charisma, on another man's poor haircut, on another man popping around prisons to boast about his freedom? No, it isn't. It's a little guy called Bradley Advert who's composed this little masterpiece. Do enjoy.
Radio X. Russell Brand. Radio X.
You're listening to Russell Brand on Radio X, and it's going very well. We're getting tweets and texts coming through in their thousands. As you know, at the moment, I'm performing my Rebirth tour, and what a smash hit it is. Matthew, everywhere I go, between the peals of laughter, sometimes people say stuff like, don't get thrown off air, Russell. We're really enjoying the Radio X experience. They say it in like, you don't want that.
They say it genuinely, don't they? They think it could happen.
There's a genuine...
Today's the day it really could happen.
Well, because we're live now. We're live from 10 seconds ago, and as we've already discussed, there's different ways of measuring time. Matt sees it in 9/11s. I see it in secondary schools. Radio X see it as something that happened 10 seconds ago for highly rational reasons. Let's have a look at just some of these tweets. Hi, Russell. I'm Millie Mae Madgwick from Grays, and I'm 5 and in a car. Right, that's good. Millie Mae Madgwick. Oh, the triple M. Matt Morgan offers the double, but here's the triple. M&M. Little Millie Mae Madgwick from Grays, where I'm from, and she's 5 and she's in a car, and we love you, little Millie Mae Madgwick. And it's we must think of wee Millie Mae Madgwick when we're making this content. Have I said something unusual?
No, you said wee Willie.
No, you're good.
Wee Millie Mae. Wee Millie Mae Madgwick. We love you, Millie. We're thinking of you. You are our focus. You are our totem. You are the future. Whitney Houston, in this area of her life, was right. The children are the future. In other areas of her life, she did make mistakes, but that's not her fault. We believe it to be a disease. Hi, Russ, Matt and G, says Evie. Felt I needed to email and say that your podcasts have been helping me get through a horrible breakup this week with the guy I thought I was going to spend the rest of my life with, Mr. G. I met him on a prison visit and he promised me the earth. He said that he'd written a poem for me off the top of his head, and it turned out to be a poem by Roald Dahl himself. No, with the guy, listen, like, we all know what it's like, the pain of a breakup. You invest emotionally in a person, don't you? You put yourself in them, you put your vision of completion into another person, and inevitably the pain comes. But we believe, Evie, that you, like your namesake in the Garden of Eden, will bring down mankind. No, that you will find truth, enlightenment and knowledge, and the divine feminine principle, the ultimate essential gradient which you will continue to climb, will guide you onwards. I was wondering if you could give me some advice for getting over it and how to cope, because I'm currently a bit of a mess. Oh, yeah, it's go into your innermost self, don't depend on people outside of yourself. Well, next time you're approaching a relationship, probably look for the coordinates of friendship, unity and togetherness, and not some sort of transcendent angelic experience that you've downloaded from films like Bridget Jones's Diary, or a romantic cultural artefacts such as paintings and poetry of like the last 100 years or so.
I would say go out, get drunk, meet new people.
Oh, you could do that. There's always drinking, meet new people. There's all of those options. And also stay away from Mr. G, the heartbreaking philanthropist that he is, a complex man. In fact, some people here, Matthew Morgan, have been asking me, look, gentlemen, says Camilla, and I have it on good authority that that's actually Camilla Parker Bowles. Consort of Prince Charles, future King of England. Fingers crossed, maybe, could be, couldn't it? Maybe you should start an advice segment on One's broadcast. Now, she does use One.
We used to do an advice.
Of course we did. What was it called? Help.
It was called Help.
Yeah,
Help.
Yeah, it was always basically, I'm gay and I've not come out, my friend's gay, or is that gay?
That was gay.
Either way, if you are gay, come out. Maybe you should start an advice segment on One's broadcast. Now, it's very interesting that she uses the word one. Perhaps it is Camilla Parker Bowles. Here's a question. How can one be kind and caring without taking on the sadness of others, e.g. members of the royal family? Thank you all for trying your hardest. Patronising compliment. We're not trying our hardest. This comes very easy to us, does it, Matt?
No, I'm really trying.
Yeah, I'm trying. Man, I'm paddling downstairs. Let me do it, and by that I mean my little
So what's she
tootsies.
saying? What's the question? How do you help people without taking on their sadness?
Oh, it's a tough
You've got to
one,
ask G that.
Got to help people without... No, don't ask G, he can't help. No, this is one for old Russ. How do you help others without taking on their sadness? Now, listeners, little Millie Mae Madgwick sat in the car. How do we help people without taking on their sadness? I suppose this is probably... Ooh, go on, Matt, what do you reckon?
I can't answer that because I do take on people's sadness.
Whose sadness
I'm
have
an
you took on?
over-empathizer.
Nah, you don't.
An
Who
empath.
shouted empath from the... Oh, a weird heckle. Empath! That's the strangest thing I've ever heard shouted from a distance in my... Well, no,
I felt bad last night when we were dancing. There was a bit
You
where
and your
we went,
family?
go in the other room for a photo. The DJ was bending down getting something, right? We all left the room, and I thought, as I left, I thought, oh, he's going to stand
He's going
up
to come
and go,
back up.
Oh, what did I do?
He's going to come back up from
What was wrong with
downstairs.
Return of the Mac? Which was what was playing.
He's going to think that Return of the Mac has emptied the bloody dance floor.
Yeah.
Return of the Mac, but departure of all else.
Exactly.
That's what he's going to think when he emerges. And what, you took on that sadness?
I did,
Did you take it to ridiculous extremes?
No, I just
like
felt a
taking it
little
to him?
pang, and I thought, don't think about that.
If you've got any advice on how to take on other people's problems without feeling the emotional collateral damage, you can tweet me at Rusty Rockets or at Radio X, or you can text us now, 83936, or email russell@radiox.co.uk with that problem or any problem, because I'll tell you that you will solve it. I suppose it's by having a strong emotional support network yourself. So, like, what I do is I identify people that I think can hold pain and hold fear. Like, there's certain things I wouldn't bother Matt with, because I think, oh, Matt's got like, his imagination is a terrifying tool. Like, so, like, if I was talking, like, when me and Matt did that, Matt and I went through a survival experience recently, a little place called Camp Gatto, where we took on nature, where we took on the elements. We stared death in the face and dared it to do its worst in a luxurious camping environment in someone's garden. And when Matt and I were telling stories, campfire stories, as tribal people have done since the origin of our species, or at least the origin of language, like Matt's stories were like dystopian tales of
I
like,
thought
how
we were both.
society's
You
gonna
keep
fall
saying
apart.
this. I thought we were both having a conversation, and then I realised you'd sort of stopped saying things.
That's right, because I was
started rocking,
shuddering.
and then you went, "Oh, we've got to go to bed now. I'm scared."
Well, look, because what it was, Matt, is you were saying about how if, like, we don't have any petrol or whatever it is for 1 week, society's going to break down and people will turn into savages and start banging on my windows asking if they can borrow my barn. Well, I won't have that. No, like, I mean, like, I suppose it was interesting because it was a modern-day myth, and William Blake was earlier on saying that's precisely what we need. However, if you do need a friend to write you some barbed and cruel comments because you're unwisely participating in a Comedy Central show called...
Roast battle.
Roast Battle, which the title of which should have told me that they're comedy roast battle. Oh, this would be a nice environment for a sensitive person, right? Like, if you want to be tooled up, like in the film sort of Leon, or the bit in The Matrix where Neo goes into that lovely white room and gets guns, lots and lots of guns, go see Matt Morgan. He'll come up with some of the cruelest remarks known to man. Like, it was like peering into Pandora's box. Like, I saw the end of the world in that list
wasn't
of
that
jokes.
bad.
Oh, they were very cruel. They must never be spoken of again. They must be locked up like the Ark of the Covenant in Indiana Jones when it turns everyone into skellingtongues. Now, so I suppose it's having an emotional network that you can rely on. CG, I turn to G with sort of deep emotional things. With Matt, there's certain things I'll talk to him about.
What?
So,
You've made it sound like you can't talk to me about anything.
I can talk to you about things when I want some nasty, sarcastic remarks to keep Jimmy Carr a broom handle worth away. Stay back there, Carr. I'm fully loaded, Jimmy Carr. Jimmy Carr, actually, a very compassionate and sensitive man. Now, what some of you won't know is that I've endured an injury this week, and it's quite a severe one. Matt, I'll show you now my human thumb. There it is. See that?
Well, not that close.
Well, how close do you want it? It's close as steel.
Wow.
Earlier,
Big
like,
brave
what I'm
boy.
doing now is I'm showing Matt Morgan my thumbo. That's the thumb on the right hand, as opposed to thimbo, the left-hand version. I was visiting people to make up for my dog Bear's transgressions in the week.
dear.
I was having to deliver amends packages, bottles of wine, bandaging, stuff like that. And
Really? Get him sorted out.
Matt, I don't know what else I can do. I've had Supervet extract his testicles. I've got those testicles in a little plastic jar in the kitchen, and once in a while I show him them. I say, do you remember these guys, eh? There's plenty more where that came from, but of course there isn't. No one has more than 2 gonads. Or do they? And that's the quiz today, 83936. But while I was delivering the apology packages...
What do you mean? By car, you were getting things out of a boot?
Yeah, but the boot's not a problem. Look at his mind. He's like Poirot. Do you see that? He's trying to deduce the problem already. Matt Morgan's there trying to already come up with the resolution.
No, I'm trying to build a picture of you going around like Frank Spencer, apologising for people your dog's bitten.
It wasn't people and it wasn't bitten. But if you can imagine, I mean, it was a sort of a tornado of fur and sort of, I think what it was.
How many events? How many, like,
It was just one event, but there were
right.
a fair few victims. Now, what, like, do you know that day when it snowed? Everyone thought, I think if you're like me, when it snowed in Britain, we all thought, snow day, normal rules suspended, no school, no dog lead, let's get out there and live life to the full, to the maximum. Anyway, things happened. I ended up, I'm instructed by my dear wife not to talk about the details, about me apologising to a farmer through a window, like it was an advent calendar. He opened his window, Farmer Oliver, like the advent calendar. Didn't come to the door. Never a good sign when someone addresses you through their window, is it? Hello, all right there.
Did he slam a window on your thumb?
No. One of the other, let's call them victims, I went around to, like I was like a lovely young lad, Jamie and Robbie, a couple of brothers, big shout out to you guys who sort of helped me in my hour of need. When I was dropping off their gift, they had a sort of a guillotine gate. The gate catch sort of sealed together two gates, like a guillotine.
Yeah.
You know, a guillotine, like
Just
Madame
like a normal gate that goes down.
No, mate, no, because it's a latch that goes over both gates. They're very binding, very frozen. You know, it binds together the two things. I want you to have the image of a frozen bracket. Now, I was just thinking about how well-behaved their dogs were, having dropped off their packages, because their dogs stopped barking as I was sort of reversing back towards the gate. Just keep my eyes on them, because you never know, do you, Matt? You never ever know. Anyway, the guillotine landed down on my thumbo. It caused me to exclaim out loud. You know, like, you don't often cry out in pain these days. I mean, probably Millie Mae Madrick's parents are right now.
What do you mean these days?
Well, these days, you don't often hear someone yelp in pain, do you? When was the last time you heard someone go, "Ah, why? Deliver us, Lord, from the belly of the whale. Deliver us, Lord. The griffin is attacking. Deliver us, Lord. The vampires are
I
swooping."
screamed. It wasn't that long ago. I had 2 coffees. I had one in the holder. You know, like...
Why are these coffees perched on your thigh? Matt's doing a mime now.
I'm driving a car.
Broadcaster of
I've
10
got a
years
coffee in the
experience.
holder, and then you know that the top of the coffee lid sort of holds another coffee, right?
That's right.
It doesn't hold it.
Stacker.
It just stacks.
It's a
there.
stack and pack technique.
I went
yeah.
round a corner, hot coffee went on me, and I had to come up off the chair, and I'll move my mic away, and I went, "Ah!"
You went for a high octave.
Proper scream.
You went
As I
up
went
an
around the corner,
octave.
there's a lady, she was like walking her dog, she watched me go around the corner and go...
She watched you lunge and twitch. Like, he looked like a... You know a geometry set? It's got all those different triangles in it when you're a kid. Matt looked like the sort of the long, sloppy... I think it's called isosceles triangle. Is it?
No, but...
You know that. You know the triangle is no use to you. It's the one that's like... It's like a wedge of cheese. Matt looked like a wedge of cheese there. His little diagonal legs
It
were
was so
flicking
painful.
out in all sorts of
and
angles.
it didn't go away for ages because the clothes were stuck.
Gathering it up. Little rivulets was there, mate.
Yes.
Little
And I
rivulets
was
of
bright
hot
red,
coffee.
all on one side. It was very hard. Anyway, about your thumb.
Yeah, well, no, I'm very interested in your shriek, because what I done when I did my shriek of pain, I dropped a couple of octaves. I went, "Ah!" like that, because I didn't want my wife and child to hear that as distress signal. But when you're in actual pain, there's a few moments after, isn't there, where you don't really want to be addressed. You don't want to chat.
Yeah.
Even when people
The
go...
kick in the balls is worse. You just drop and you can't have a conversation.
Who's kicking you?
Children.
Who's kicking him in the stones, son? Someone's kicked me in the stones. Me and Tommy, he's doing security today. We're from Essex. We know about kicking the stones. Go have a bit of aggro, did you? Just near him in the
No,
stones,
just
bring them
toddlers
down.
kicking me in the balls.
You're getting kicked in the stones by toddlers, are you, son? Terrible, terrible business, that, Matthew. So, yeah, so basically, I've endured an injury over the course of the week. That's basically what I'm saying. The thumb represents the ego
What did
in
it
yogic philosophy, and that is why Fonzie puts his thumbs up. I hope you've all learned something valuable. Fonzie puts his thumbs up because the thumb is the ego. The pointy finger
That's not
is aggression. What, you don't think there's a language of fingers? You don't think there's a finger language?
Well, so
Well, there's certain
hitchhikers-
fingers that are contraband, isn't there? There's certain fingers that are not allowed because there's a language of
Hang
fingers.
on.
There's the pinky finger, hello dear. There's the wedding finger, I love you. There's naughty finger, you dirty devil. There's pointy anger finger, and there's thumbo, oh thumbo, guillotined on a
represent the
cold
ego?
day. Thumbo, oh thumbo, why did you end up this way, all black and blue, hurt through and through? You can tweet us.
No,
you can
hang on,
email us.
wait. I want to
What's the
know
matter?
why the
What's wrong with you?
thumb represents the ego.
The thumb.
Have you
oh,
made
Matt,
that up?
Matt, you know so
Don't walk
little
away.
about yogic philosophy. We're going now live to the audience. Look at some of these people here.
gone.
There's a genuine young listener there, Matt. What's your
You're
name?
changing the subject.
James, I actually got your gift as well, Russell.
Oh, you're lovely. You're James. You've got me a gift. Where are you from?
Belfast.
Oh, he's a lovely lad from Belfast, and he's got me a gift. What have you got me?
I know you don't wear suits because you're not one of the suits.
That's right, I'm a free man like you. I'm a revolutionary, whether it's delivering gifts because of something what my dog might have done, or whether it's going on and on about the nature of the thumb. Go on.
But I thought you'd find these funny anyway. There you go.
I love you, James. How old are you?
18.
18-year-old lads, and we are relevant to youth. I say we are relevant to youth, whether it's Millie Mae Madgwick or a young lad there. I've got a lovely gift here. So the thumb, Matthew, represents the ego because of Fonzie. All right? Cufflinks, lovely cufflinks from a young man, and what's that on them? The most beautiful visage one can imagine, my own face. My own face on my wrists. That's going to be very useful in certain situations when I need to glance down at my wrists for inspiration. Thank you, young James. You're a beautiful young man, and I adore you. I couldn't love you more. I'm too self-involved. Simply too self-involved to love another person more. Yeah, this is yogic philosophy, Matt. We're talking about the
that's what
unknown.
I'm trying to understand. Is it, or have you just said that?
No, it's true. It actually
Right.
is true. The
So
thumb
what's
is the ego.
hitchhiking then?
What?
What's hitchhiking? Like boasting by the side of a road?
Come on, pick me up. Let me in the back of your van.
Surely
Come on.
the thumb must mean... Well, thumbs up means...
Everything's
job.
good. Caesar.
Yeah, that's
There's
not
the Christians
egotistical.
are fighting a lion. Picture it. The Colosseum. BC 01. The Christians are wrestling a lion. Caesar's thumbs up. The Christian lives on. Caesar's thumb goes down. Well, there wouldn't be Christianity yet, 'cause I suppose it's not established till after
Well,
the
no,
death of
'cause you
Christ.
think that was heaven and hell, but it wouldn't be that.
Well, heaven and hell, like that's to do with the ego also, mate. These concepts, these metaphysical concepts must relate to the human psyche on some level, otherwise they would have no relevance at all. Now, Dan in Japan has written us an email, which I'm going to go through in a minute, Matt, unless you've got some content, or unless... It might be a good time to mention that there's someone here who's become a bit of an unofficial sponsor of the show. Many of you will know that Matt Morgan uses this radio show, unlike me, a man who only wants to do his rebirth tour and get his recovery book out there and reach people with loving messages. Matt Morgan uses this show to ransack people for their belongings. What are you doing there? Matt just got up.
Trousers are riding up.
Another little rivulet of coffee. Woo! Hot black coffee now! Woo! Hot black coffee now! Yeah?
Don't mention coffee when we're about to talk about adagio teas.
Adagio teas.
Oh, yeah.
What's your name? Philippa or Penny or something like that, isn't it? Danielle. Oh my God, the audience actually know the name of the lady from Adagio Teas. Many of you will know. Hello, it's lovely to meet you, Danielle. Thank you for providing us with limp, tasteless, vile beverages.
You're very welcome.
What's going on for you at that big, giant corporation, Adagio Teas? Where'd you get your teas? Probably by exploiting the third world, is it?
Aye.
Probably contributing to climate change, are you?
No.
Tell us about Adagio Teas. Where are you based?
We work from an office in Rotherhithe. It's just me and one other person.
Yeah, you fat cats.
Yeah.
You capitalist pigs. Sat there counting your money, swilling down your tea.
Yeah.
And what else? Got any new flavours you're working on?
There's also Christmassy flavours.
Yeah?
Ooh.
Yeah. I sent you a load of Christmassy
Exploiting the season.
Yes.
The birth of our Lord. Trust
Christ.
Adagio Teas. Yeah, anything else?
I don't know. We're going to try and do some Matt Morgan Appreciation Society teas.
Oh, dear.
You can feel
Bingo.
nice and jealous about that.
I tell you what, love, I wouldn't want to be involved in any event where the beverages were provided from those charlatans at Adagio Teas. In fact, don't drink Adagio Teas,
No.
filthy stuff, taste of wheeze. Don't drink Adagio Teas, that stuff's bloody poisonous. You're listening to Russell Brand Live. We are funded by adverts, not just Matt Morgan's cronies in the city, like Adagio Teas, but also some reliable companies put together by a very kind man, very much a Phileas Fogg figure, very much a Willy Wonka figure. It's Bradley Advert.
Radio X.
Of course I've fallen in love with someone I shouldn't fall in love with, because you shouldn't really fall in love with anyone. You should keep your innermost connection, your innermost feelings connected to the divine Evie. That was dedicated to you, Evie, a woman who we are sort of ushering out of a broken-hearted state. Many of the people that listen to this show are almost by definition mentally ill, and when we get to see their faces, as we can now, it becomes clear that the demographic we are targeting is ragbags. Ragbags, the forgotten people, the shipwrecked, the fallen and the broken. children. But does not our Lord go after a lost sheep all the more betterer? Of course he bloody well does. He don't want sheep that keep him perfectly still. Not the Lord, does he?
No.
Does he, Matt? No, I wouldn't have thought so. I wouldn't have thought so either, said
We
Russell's
do help
other
a lot
brain.
of people, apparently.
I know, the mentally ill love us, but why wouldn't they? Because we are them. Nick Cately says, hello, Russell. A bit of spit. Did you hear that spit in my mouth then?
No, I didn't.
Someone said to me that it was an acupuncturist. She said, I've got too much phlegm. You know, but in Chinese medicine, they talk like stuff like that. Phlegm.
Phlegm or spit? Because...
Do you think there's a difference?
Yes.
What, so I suppose, like, spit is the soup, phlegm is the crouton. Come on! What? I suppose that ain't allowed now. If you want to tweet us, you can, at Rusty Rockets or at Radio X, or you can text 83936. Some people here are literally using this radio show as an opportunity to relight the fire in their marriage. Who was that image you showed us?
Star Deluxe.
Venstar Deluxe
Adrian.
and Adrian enjoying conjugal activity, and why wouldn't they on a Sunday morning, the morning of the Lord, to express themselves through love? We've got some other tweets here, and if you do want to tweet us, excuse me, do. My wife Natasha's in your audience. She's travelled all the way from Lincolnshire. Please, if possible, give a shout out to her, says Neil. I'm afraid we can't do that, Neil, we're too busy. Great show. Keep it up. Bet the big bosses are happy. Of course they are, Poggy knows. They're foaming at the gams. Hey, Russ, Matt and G, look, I've got this terrific idea for a social enterprise mental health support thing, probably an app or a website. It's called Anonymate. It's a free, anonymous way that blokes or women, I added all women because, you know, we've got to get beyond the gender divide, guys. Blokes or women with mental health issues or whatever, maybe they're just feeling a bit down and need a chat with an anonymous mate. Love the show, don't get banned, William Reimer. That is a good idea, Anonymate, and that's why I'd like to copyright that immediately as Russell Brand Enterprises, a sub-company of Adagio Teas. Don't drink them, don't drink those bloody teas. So, hi Russell, congratulations on still being drug-free, says Nick Cately. Anyway, I have to ask, do you or have you ever been involved with the Illuminati? Are you a Mason? What advice can you give to achieve a better life as a Mason? Sorry if that sounds silly, but I had to ask. I'm not a Mason. You have to, firstly, not have a criminal record. Secondly, you have to be a business person, I think. If anyone is a Mason, it's this bloody Danielle from Adagio Teas.
How do you know so much about getting into the Masons?
Do I know a lot about... Ooh, crikey, they're
Sound
on
like
to
you've
me.
looked into it.
I know, because I do care about things like that, secret societies, tribal ideas. I've always cared about things like that, Matt, because I think sort of tribal identity, ritual and ceremony will be very important to us going forward as a species, unless we want to become materialistic rationalists and therefore sort of reach the conclusion that nihilism is a sort of the truth of reality. So
But why wouldn't they let you in?
Because apparently I'm too strange. They'd embarrass... No,
No, you're often accused of being in the Illuminati.
Often accused of it, and if I was in it, I suppose you wouldn't admit it anyway, but like there's a picture of me that you have here. What's your name again, mate? Natasha, you were the person that just got a shout out from your own husband. I bet he shouted you right out the house this morning, didn't he? Get out! Get out of my house! Call this a marriage? Get yourself to London!
I went to my mum's and threw the children at my mum.
You threw the children at your mum? Do you mind if I perch upon you? Do I have your permission as a human?
Oh, no,
Thanks.
really lovely.
There you go. That's what you want in a modern Britain. So, okay, what are you gonna... You've got a photograph of me looking very much like I am in the Illuminati, is that true?
Shape-shifting lizard.
A shapeshifter.
Yeah.
One of the best Illuminati. That's top ranking.
You smell lovely.
Thank you. You smell pretty nice yourself. But remember, this is a radio show, and the olfactory senses is not primarily where it's received. Although a type of radio where you could smell me, Matt, would probably be the best type of radio yet.
No, not sometimes.
No, there are moments
But
where the
there's
last
certain
thing you'd want is the
incidents.
aroma of me.
Do you want a present?
Why don't we, let's just tweet that image of me looking like a lizard Illuminati man. That'll be useful in building a case for me being a member of that exclusive and dastardly gang, the Illuminati, that are apparently running the world, when I think it's probably more likely that sort of powerful financial interests. You can probably just look at why they've got the most influence, the most trade. That'll probably be it. Anyway, we'll be talking to Brian Cox about that and lizards in just about half an hour. This is the last link of the show. We're going to be going into the news, a little show where you're told just exactly what's going on via the minds of the big bosses, of course, probably using it as a means to condition people. Are they, Matthew?
You said it's the last link of the show.
The hour.
All right, no, we've got loads more. We've got another hour. Don't panic. Well done for spotting that. That's really good, Matt. That's very professional. That's one of the most professional things you've done today. So, I've been doing some really good dadding this week. Like, for example, my child nearly fell off a table the other day, and I caught it.
Why was it on a table?
He was just doing a little show I've produced myself called Baby Dancing with Russ and Mabes. It was a lovely bit of tabletop dancing,
You caught
wonderful
her?
stuff. Yeah, she toppled. I grabbed her by her garment, which was just a normal baby garment, and then I was able to get another hand underneath, and my wife said, "That's good dadding there." She was impressed by it. So not only have I saved a baby, I've impressed a wife. Have you got any parental stories where you do some good dadding just for once?
Cohen this
Just for
week
once.
is playing Angel Gabriel in the school play.
Good part, the
Well, we can't go-
harbinger, the
we can't see it.
harbinger.
Well,
Why?
yeah, it's quite a big role. Because, well, various reasons. Partly, you're not allowed to take babies there, so we can't go with our other child.
That's out of order. That's
won't
out
be
of
able to
order.
see
No,
you in
but
the
we
crowd.
went to the dress rehearsal, but he asked me that night, he goes, I said, "Do you like doing that?" Because he was good at it. And he said, "Yeah, what I don't understand is why they're all named after swear words, like Jesus Christ and God's sake." And it was really hard to explain that the swear words came afterwards.
How did you explain it? I'll play the part of Cohen, and you play the part of you.
Okay, who
All
are
right?
you? Cohen.
I'm Cohen, your son. I'm
so
playing
I'm
that
me.
role.
That's easy. I can
Just
do
give me a
that.
second to get in character, mate, because as you know from the films such as Arthur and Forgetting Mr. Marshall, I'm one of the world's best actors.
Would you like some water to dampen your hair?
Please, I better... Let me dampen the hair down, and if anyone's got a hat, I could use that as well. As you know, the secret to acting is a hat and damp hair.
Yeah. So I'm me, right?
Yeah.
So I say to him, "Do you want this
Daddy,
from memory, or do you want to
Daddy."
do a new one?"
No, we'll do it from memory, and
Right,
then
okay.
we'll workshop it. We'll workshop it. Have fun. Look, that's what...
just have
This
fun.
is live radio. Have fun with it. Have fun with it. Don't
So I
shriek
said-
and panic like a man with a rivulet of coffee running down his thigh.
I said-
Stay on top.
Cohen, shut up.
Daddy, why is the angels all named after swearing?
They're not, you see. The swear words came afterwards, and they're very naughty words because they're taking the Lord's name in vain. I actually said that.
You said taking
I
the
know.
Lord's
and then
name
I thought,
in vain.
listen to me saying that.
Why are these words invested with such negative potency if they are apparently sacred?
This is how I got round it.
Go on, 'cause I'm interested in
I said,
this.
in the old days, people go, "Oh, Jesus, I've hurt my foot, please pray for me," sort of thing. Or,
Yeah, not
"Oh,
bad.
God."
Yeah.
Like,
Like God's wounds!
yeah, like it was a
example.
positive thing. Like you were
Kazooks.
saying, "Jesus, help me." That's how I got round it. And he went, "All right, okay." Carried on colouring him.
Funny, he just went back to his colouring after that, satisfied. Brilliant bit of dadding by Matt. Perhaps a round of applause for Matt Morgans for some
Thank you.
first-class dadding.
Really, you've only
Absolutely
got to get
brilliant
through
stuff.
about 2 minutes of conversation before they give up.
Right, if you
So
can
if it's a
handle
big
the whys,
thing,
you will get
if you
through
just,
it.
you can sort of go, "Oh well," because then in the end they look at you and just go, "Okay."
He's wise, this man. Or they just think,
But they
"Ah,
just
that's
think he
enough."
doesn't know this.
Yeah, right.
I'll move on.
He's floundering.
Yeah.
He's floundering. Yeah, I'm
But
very
it's nice
interested in
watching
that.
your child in a school play.
Is it?
Yeah, because it's like they have this private life away from you. You don't know what they do at school, and then you see them and they've rehearsed this thing and they're doing it. It's sweet watching it.
I am very afraid of my little child going into environments that are governed by other people's ideology instead of my brilliant one. Like schools and that.
Yeah, but you have to just surrender them to it.
Do you? Just
Yeah.
surrender them to the other ideologies. I was in monkey music the other day. Now, monkey music is a type of thing where a baby's got to do some dancing and singing. Well, actually, though, I had to do most of the dancing and singing because the baby doesn't understand the dialectic.
What is it?
Monkey music, there's this little monkey, he's apparently the star of the show, he's called Mr. Mumbles or Nimbles or Peppercock or something like that. And then there's the lady, she's called Maz, she's running it. We're in a church hall, there's a couple of other babies that aren't
right,
mine.
okay.
Far as we know, a couple of other babies there, they're just there and there with their mums. I'm there with my wife, I'm wearing a jumper that, I'll be honest, was a bit itchy and I'd regretted wearing it, so that's probably agitating
Pull
me.
back on the details now.
Right.
Gone too far.
Okay.
So it's the, like, I know,
there's a planet.
yeah.
There's humans on it. They are having various relationships with each
We
other
have something like
in the
tumble
element
tots.
of time.
Tumble tots, I think it's called. So there's just different things in church halls where you go
Yeah.
and babies dance. Right, okay,
Yeah.
I've got it.
Yeah, but
You
this,
made it sound like it was some sort of theme park.
this is monkey music, mate. And like, there's the woman, Maz. She's in charge of Mumbles the monkey, or whatever he's called, Rasputin, Dark Cloud. I
What,
can't
what
remember
is he,
his
though?
exact
A
name.
man in a suit?
She's a woman. No, the monkey. No, he's an actual little monkey.
He's not.
Oh no, he's not a chimpanzee primate. He's made of cloth and foam and buttons. He's got no guts. He's not sentient. He knows nothing. And
That's
yet
the sort
I
of thing that would be
kowtow
so
to him.
disappointing when you're a child. Oh, it's a monkey, there's a monkey, then you get there and it's a puppet.
Yeah, I know, mate. Don't think I've not been
I'm
from my
bitter
version.
about so many things like
I'll
that.
tell you something, mate. when that woman at school, Mrs. Oxley, when I was 5, told me that we had crayons encased in wood and they were colouring pencils, I'm going to push one of them through her pancreas. That's a colouring pencil. That's not a crayon encased in wood. A crayon encased in wood sounds
Well,
like
hang
an
on, so-
armoured crayon
She
from another dimension, like a Viking's crayon, like
described
Thor's
it.
crayon.
Wait. Why did she hype them up before she goes, now, crayons encased in wood?
I suppose what Mrs. Oxley must have thought is that some members of the congregation were not paying proper attention, but were distracted by poems and ethereal realms and the transcendent. So she probably had to big things up by saying, here comes some crayons encased in wood, guys, this is going to knock your socks off, as if she was introducing the bloody Beatles. Well, when it just came and it was pencils, I thought, never again will I trust any of society's institutions unless they align perfectly with my innermost transcendent connections. And
Did
I
she-
stayed true to that.
Was she like saying it and then she got them out? Or was it like, in a few weeks, there's a delivery?
There was a build-up over a few weeks, like a countdown. There's a thermometer, like on Blue Peter, going up and up and up. And then, like, you know, there was sort of interviews with people that had met the colouring pencils being broadcast on big screens in the playground. Then eventually, when the colouring pencils came out, like trotted out like One Direction, like all through like a haze of smoke or stars in your eyes or whatever, then I was a bit let down. Now, Mumbles the Monkey, or Rasputin, or Gypsy Boy, or whatever he's called, it was a very different thing. Although he's just made of cloth, he's very much the centre of the narrative at Monkey Music. Where is Mumbles the Monkey? Is he up on that piano? I could see him before the song had even started, to be honest, mate. He was clearly on the piano. There was another one that's an angel on a tree. Like, that's there as well. And we all have to join in singing, and there's snow and there's blankets. It was Christmas themed, and she'd put Mumbles the Monkey in an outfit that I don't think was designed for him. If I'm honest, I think it's probably a Build-A-Bear. It's probably a Build-A-Bear outfit on Mumbles the Monkey.
Were you sort of there and looking at things like the way you perceive religions?
That's right. Yep, I was saying...
What do they want us to believe about the monkey?
Who is
You
this Mumbles
overthink
the
it.
Monkey? Will he come again?
Gazooks!
Doing a big intake of breath. Oh, Mumbles the Monkey! He is an avatar of the simian monkey spirit, the primal mind, the trickster, the mischief maker. Don't fall asleep, young lady, while I'm doing one of my most brilliant rants. There's a privileged audience of 28 people here to sip at the nectar of old Russ, one of the prophets of our age. They're literally dozing off in the aisles. It looks like a disaster relief campaign. People have got sleeping bags. People are sleeping in the aisles, drinking Baxter's soup direct from the tin, cold. There's going to be an advert in a minute. But after that, we are going to explore some pretty deep themes about simian nature. Matt Morgan and I will be talking about bad dadding. In half an hour, we've got Brian Cox, one of the bestest scientists that ever God breathed life into. And I believe that that is how breath gets into
Let's
a
have
person.
some good questions for him. People think of questions.
No, don't. I'll do the interview. You mustn't worry. I know
we need
exactly.
questions.
I know how to handle old Coxie, mate. Don't worry about that. I know a lot about science and all that. I remember science. Bunsen burners, put on the gas tap, light it up, pipettes, that stick thing. I've got it all
That's
covered.
chemistry for a start. He's a
Either
physicist.
way, don't get bogged down in details, Brian. That's what I'll say to him if he starts with all that. Just a vague idea, some mist, some planets. Anyway, now it's time for something that's rather important to me. This is something I discovered in a little cave in Wales. I spoke to a druid man. He lifted up his frock. Why wouldn't he? And under there was a little guy called Bradley Advert. And this is what he said. You are listening to Russell Brand on Radio X. That was Portugal with a song that they call The Man, which I understand... What? No, hold on. That was The Man with a song... No, wait a second. Portugal, The Man.
The song's called Feel It Still.
Portugal, The Man, and the song we just don't know. We'll never know what the song was called. It doesn't matter. I'll tell you what, those lads, or women, or whatever they are, they've done a bloody good job on making a record there, and I say hats off to them. Now, this is the last hour of the show. We've got Brian Cox coming up. We've got a live audience. If you want to join us on Facebook Live and see what I actually look like while moving about, you can. There are cameras trained on my face now by young professionals called Josh and Zoe. As far as we know, they're not in love, but if they were, would we care, Matt? What business is it of ours how people conduct themselves in their own life? It's our intimate business because we're trying to establish a kind of religious state. No, we ain't. Now, we've got some messages here. This one's from Susie Applin. She loves us. She loves us while she's wrapping presents. Susie Applin,
We know her.
We know her very well, Susie Applin. She's a great producer. She's produced shows like TFI Friday, Jonathan Ross Show, some of our shows. That poor woman, what she's been through over the years. Can you imagine
did
the
she produce
stress?
with us?
She produced Russell Brand's Got Issues, where Matt Morgan played something like Leonard Zod, General Zod's nephew, and stood nervously on a set, not knowing what he was doing, like everybody else involved in the show. Russell Brand's Got Issues. Have a look at that on the internet if you want something to do with your life. Or, if you'd like to learn something from the internet, just look at something else. Almost anything else.
I wouldn't bother to watch that.
Don't look at the internet.
It was a
even.
travesty.
What's the point? Bloody thing. Can you trust it? Probably
No, I mean
not.
that show that we
I
made,
get you.
not the internet.
Here's a message from Noel Gallagher, friend that don't trust the internet. This is you can have a look at us on Facebook Live, which I believe comes via the internet. Does it matter? I don't know the details.
A little bit.
Invented in Silicon Valley by a very clever young man about 10 years ago, isn't it? Unbelievable the way that technology is moving. All these new institutions just acquiring minds. Message here from Noel Gallagher, friend of the show. Russell, I've never said this to you before, but I love you. Not necessarily in a gay way, but actually a little bit gay now that I think about it. These feelings, they're flooding through me. In fact, that song Holy Mountains about the feelings I have for you. Sorry, I mistyped that. I should have just gone back and deleted it. But, you know, I was in the flow. I couldn't help myself. Oh, well, that's very touching, Noel. Very moved by that. Very good.
Where
Mr.
is
G,
Noel? He was meant to be here.
Mr. G summarising that. We just don't know. Sadly, we don't know where Noel Gallagher is. A common problem these days. He could be anywhere, couldn't he? He could be in a badger set, just sort of mixing it up a little bit. He could be in a bird's nest. What I guess is that he's around twigs. This is from Reagan Ward. Matt had a traumatic experience with the monkey. I bet he was happy to see puppets after that. Matt, did you have a traumatic experience with the monkey?
Yes, very traumatic.
What was it?
I've told you this millions of times. I watched 2 monkeys kill a bird. That's the Sunday morning version.
Right. And
Not a person, a bird.
Huh?
My bird.
Right, that's not a Dartford story.
No.
I've seen a couple of monkeys, couple of mugs, they've done my birding, nutted them off.
Real
No,
monkeys and a real bird.
Real monkeys and a real bird. That's the quality of anecdotes you get from Matt Morgan, everybody. Genuine zoological
It's too
facts.
violent to talk about now. It was
I know.
horrific.
I know, mate. I know. I don't know why I'm glad that I've been part of your healing. Now, this here is from Danny, who is tiling a bathroom in Glasgow. Just think of we've got some of the finest minds in Britain. There's a man in Glasgow right now tiling.
Tiling's hard. Tiling's difficult.
I know, mate. I know about
You
grouting.
don't know.
I know about grouting. I know
You've
about
never
putting
grouted.
matchsticks on a thing. It's a jigsaw puzzle on a wall made of shiny squares. Grouting, tiling. All right? All right.
There's little spaces now. It's made a lot easier.
What do you think the matches was for? Making the little spaces. When I tile old school. I learn my tiling on the streets. Not like you, or some lardy-da toffee-nosed college for bloody tiling. Oh, excuse me. Oh, where are you? The bloody Ritz tiling school, learning about tiling with fops and dandies with lavender in our pockets. I'm out there, tiling with Ice Cube. Me and Cube, tiling it up, baby. All right? We've got a letter here.
In reality, you went to drama school.
There's a letter here, Matthew. Come on, help me get through this. Help me get through this. Hello, old Russ. Please say hello to my daughter Scarlett, 14, who's spending her Sunday helping me build a massive wardrobe. Love the show. Oh, that is Danny. He's tiling a bathroom in Glasgow. He's doing a lot of DIY, isn't he, Danny? Tiling, building wardrobes. Where's the wardrobe going to lead to, though, Matt? Narnia? Some other dimension? Or will it simply remain on this realm?
Have you ever done any
physical labour?
Yeah.
I'm knackered from describing it. But to have a sit down, I feel like I'm going to have a bloody asthma attack. What's wrong with the old lungs, Matt? What's wrong with the old lungs? The emphysema. The emphysema closing in on me. All the years of crack. Don't do drugs. Drugs are bad. It's bad. Its impact on the old lungs, yo. Oh, me emphysema. Oh, me emphysema.
Do you want to have a little rest while I do some...
Yeah, do some. And now it's time for Nonsense, an item with Matt Morgan. Now, if you're the person that's in charge of musical beds, why don't you play the gallery music up there? These are because we're in a different room. You can, if you look on Facebook Live, we present here won't hear the musical bed, but it will happen. And then if you could just play it, and that'd be fine. Now, listeners, thank you. Keep your emails flooding in, russell@radiox.co.uk, or you can text us 83936, or you can tweet me, as many people have done. ADHD? Oh, no, I'm not getting into that. No, we will. We'll solve that in a minute. But first, Nonsense with Matt.
Right. Hello. I can't remember how I used to start it.
You just
oh,
do it-
hello, that was it.
Yeah,
right,
you're
let me start
fishing. You're
again.
fishing by a river.
Oh, hello, and welcome
fishing
to
a
Nan
Jason-
Sense. Shut up.
Oh, that's not very nice, Nan.
You can kill the bed now. Right. This is from Osh in St Albans, right? This is some great-grandmother stuff. My great-grandmother, well, literally, was a Scot through and through. She was born on the craggy coast of Rascarroll,
Must have hurt.
where winter swimming and freezing walks in the country are part of a common health ritual. Very good joke there, Russell. She
you.
moved to Hertfordshire to start a family. Eventually I was born. When I was growing up, blah, blah, blah.
Don't blah,
Right.
blah, blah, nonsense,
I'm doing
Matt.
that for the audience.
Right.
When asked what she'd been doing up the garden, she said, "Oh, just catching up on my nettle stings, dear. Regularly stinging yourself with nettles improves your immune system." Sounds crazy, but she lived until she was 106 and died peacefully in her sleep. Love
Of
you.
stinging nettle wounds.
I mean, no, possibly it could work as a
There's
technology.
something in that. People sting themselves with bees. We spoke to that woman once, didn't we?
Yeah, she was mad, wasn't she? We
She
later
was
found
mad,
out. But like, I loved her. But like, they do say that if you eat honey from a particular region, you become immune to all the diseases of the Lord.
That's not true.
No, I believe that. Let me just check
That's
that.
to do with hay fever, isn't it?
Yep, all the diseases of the Lord, including hay fever. Well done, Matt. That's very good. Go on, have you got
A
more
bit
Nan knowledge?
Yeah, listen to this one. I don't know if I can say. Can I say this? Have these been vetted to be?
No. Is it,
Okay.
Change the pronunciation to ass. That's one of the techniques I will teach you, okay?
All right.
Professional broadcaster.
This may not be Nan knowledge, but it's definitely Nan sense. My dearly departed Irish Nan had 12 children. She was very maternal with the boys, but had love-hate relationships with her daughters.
Curious.
Towards the end of her life, she suffered from dementia, right? Her memory would fade in and out. There wasn't a lot of coherent conversation, but when it did
I know how
happen,
she feels.
it was brutal. My mother smoked her entire adult life, much to the annoyance of my Nan. During one moment of clarity, she turned to my mother and said, "It looks like a pencil poking out of a pig's ass."
Good pronunciation. Disgusting story. Don't know how you're passing off as Nan's knowledge.
That's a good bit of...
A pencil poking out of
visual.
a pig's ass.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's very cruel. Very cruel to do that to a
I
pig.
like those things that Nans say things like that.
The Nans are absolutely great. There's not a day goes by. Now, here's an email.
Can we have a
in
little
new-
sub thing of Nan insults?
I'd love to know.
I'd love to know some Nan insults.
Nan insults. Insults that you've been given by your Nan. Try to not let them be racist, because as we know, 2 generations ago, Nans were generally quite racist. That was their culture back then. Thankfully, we've moved on. Now, here's an email from someone called Stefan. Yo, Russell. Good, classy, cool. This is a new item called Makes Me Look Good. Just finished Recovery. What a brilliant book and an ideal Christmas present for young and old that would make, says Stefan. And I wanted to say thank you. You're truly an inspiring human being. Thanks, Stefan. Look, you can look if you want. It does say all these things, except for the promo. Anyway, I'm just a 29-year-old refugee from the former Yugoslavia living in Sweden. Aren't we all, dear? Aren't we all just a 29-year-old refugee from former Yugoslavia living in Sweden? Deep down, when it comes to it. Look at yourself in the mirror. Who are you? You're a former refugee from Yugoslavia living in Sweden. Your movies, yep, podcasts, oh yeah, and books have given me comfort and joy and hope. Literally, they're Christmas messages, aren't they? Good tidings of comfort, joy
Where's
and
this
hope.
leading?
Comfort and
Is
joy.
this-
It's leading to me looking good. I truly hope this reaches you and that you give yourself some cred for doing an awesome job at standing up for so many important things in the world that's going to a bad place. Keep on inspiring people, and maybe one day we'll be able to change the economic, political system and maybe even worldview of enough people to create a society that this planet and humanity deserve. Well done, Russell. Lots of love, Stefan. P.S. Matt Morgan is a liability, a dead weight. I say, kick him to the curb, baby. Oh, well,
if
lovely.
You can't read things like just blind praise.
Well, I told you that the item was called Blind Praise. An item where I come out looking rather nice. Well, look,
Sure,
don't
there's
you think it's
something
nice
there.
to have someone from Yugoslavia, a refugee,
Well, that is quite
living in
amazing, yeah.
Sweden? Come on, mate. It's like, it just shows you. Some people are in Glasgow doing some tiling. Some people in Yugoslavia doing some praising. What a complex and beautiful world we're living in. And some people are trapped in here. You should have seen the rush for the doors when the toilet visit was offered. It's unbelievable. It was
They all
like
came
Charlie
back
in the
for it.
Chocolate Factory. They shot out. I don't mean Charlie in the Chocolate Factory in the toilet. No, I mean it was like the rush for golden tea.
I've just been in my chocolate factory having a little look round. I've got all sorts of gems in there. I'm the dirty old yak man. Join me by my bonfire where I burnt your dreams. I'm the yak man.
Matt, did you actually bring photographs of yourself coming out of what looks like sewage to shine for people here?
Yes, I did. I was asked. Look, I keep getting asked to sign photos. Obviously.
Who's asking?
People. Look, half of these people wanted
Matt,
one.
I've told you about this poor gaggle of sods. Look at them. Look into their cold, dead eyes. There's not a single person here who knows where they are. This is basically caring the community we're doing now. I'll be teaching them life skills after this. As soon as the show finishes, I'm going to teach each and every person here to boil an egg. And I think it's going to be a bloody struggle. If they can get on a bus without causing a scene, it'll be a miracle. Look at them. Poor saps, poor beautiful, glorious fools. Here we are on the edge lands, the very edge of sanity.
Don't bend my photos as you're making a point.
I'll pay for them. How much are they? £2.50? What are they? £1.50?
Actually,
£3?
42p each.
42p each. You went to Snappy Snaps, or whatever vile equivalent there is of that in Dartford. Some sort of ghastly backwater photo place.
It's an online Snappy Snaps. Stop saying Snappy Snaps. Anyway.
Snappy Snaps, a fine, reliable outlet. This show is brought to you by Snappy Snaps. And another note, don't drink Adagio teas. Dirty, stinking, vile stuff. So you bought photographs of yourself here, did you, mate?
Yes.
To popular demand. There's one here just says the word Rachel on it.
I know, because I spelt Rachel wrong.
Rachel. It's just a photograph that says Rachel. It's like you're calling the photograph Rachel. What's this, Rachel the photograph?
If there's anyone here who spells Rachel like that, you can have
Friends. Oh, here's Rachel the photograph. It's with Ross the photograph. What is this? It's like Matt Morgan's Sylvanian Families, only from Tommy.
Russell,
coming up will be
what
Brian
happens if someone asks you for a signed photo?
I salute their taste.
Yeah, but where'd you get them from?
Oh, right, I don't know. There's an infrastructure.
Well, there you go. I don't have an infrastructure.
I'm not surprised, dear. I've seen
made
the
them on the
photos.
internet.
You're very lucky the internet participated.
No, I look all right in that
the internet
photo.
wasn't sick in its own mouth. I'm surprised the internet's cheeks didn't fill up with a soupy substance. Oh, there you go. No,
disgusting.
I'll tell you what, mate. You want to roll around? Do you want a little roll around? You're listening to Russell Brand on Radio X. You can text me 83936. You can email me russell@radiox.co.uk, or you can use many social media outlets. In fact, you could watch this on Facebook Live. You probably won't believe your own eyes. What is happening now? Brian Cox will be in here, but now it's time for me to review the week's cultural events. Strictly Come Dancing final, that was good, but it's always a bit anticlimactic, the ending, isn't it? Because, you know, there's been a great pyramid of glory fueled by sexual energy, and then it just ends with someone winning a dancing competition. There. That's my review. What do you think?
What is going on in your life that you're into board games, Strictly Come Dancing?
What am I, like some sort of old uncle? What am I, like a nan? What's happening to me, Matt?
That is sort of a bit...
And the
beyond
crown.
middle
I love
age.
the crown. I'm like elderly, aren't I? I'm like a Frau elderly aunt, aren't I? It's like my bones are just pure chalk. I'm like one of those cuttlefish in a parrot's cage, just pecked at, just to file down a budgie.
Like in the day, before the finals, or the finals that night, were you thinking, oh, Strictly final tonight?
Oh, Strictly, big night tonight, right? Let's get all my stuff lined up, my special drinks, Nanny's special sweets, my tunes, my lockets, my halls. You can never have enough throat sweets, darling. If you take care of the larynx will take care of you, sweetheart.
And then do you get into it when you're watching it, like you're watching football?
Very much. Oh, no! Oh, offside! Referee! Man on! Man on! That was a bloody good waltz. Yeah.
I'm really interested in this. What do you do when you're watching it?
Right, I'm sat there. As you can imagine, shut up. As you can imagine, I look very handsome. My locks tumbling down my hair, like a portrait of Charles I, who I believe was later beheaded. I'm watching Strictly Come Dancing. I'm enjoying it very much. I'm commenting on the subplots and subtext. All of life's glory is there.
To whom are you commenting?
Just no one. Now, the wife, she's gone out. She says she can't take the stress. Too much, she said. I didn't agree to this, she says. The door slammed shut. Now I'm alone with my lockets, as nature intended. Why bother sucking the whole way through the locket? Crack it with your elbow, suck that honey straight out. But make sure it's local honey, because otherwise the hay fever could do you in. Now, I'm looking at what subplots are existing in Strictly Come Dancing. Which character represents what? Is it all fueled by carnal energy? Answer, yes, because what is dance? It is a sexual ritual.
Oh God, you say this every day.
Every day, about this time, I say... dance is a sexual ritual.
He's phoned me up before and gone,
dance?
Oh, do you know Strictly? Do you want to hear my theory about it? And I'm trying to change a nappy, going, yeah, all right. And then he says that.
Was that your own nappy you changed in that mime?
Actually, yeah.
So it was very near your own midriff.
Oh, I have to explain why I've been spotted in a nappy.
Right, after these adverts, Matt Morgan will be explaining, as if such a thing were possible, why he's been spotted in a nappy, when we all know there's no excuse for an adult wearing a nappy unless you yourself require one. Now, it's going to be a little advert that's going to really change the way you feel about yourself and your life, and after that, there's going to be an actual professor in here, and I don't want any of you lot letting me down. I don't want you showing me up, because we are going to interview him like it's 1999. But before that, Brad Burp.
Radio X.
Russell Brand.
Radio X.
You are listening to Russell Brand on Radio X, and what a show it's been. It's been live, and so far we've done nothing to disappoint the people that have allowed us to be on the radio with only a 10-second delay. With 10 seconds ago, this is what was happening, and look around you, that's what's happening now. If you want to talk to us, it's at Radio X, or you can text 83936. Possibly you'll text us some questions for Professor Brian Cox, because I've just been out there and met him. He's very excited about coming on. Fair to say, foaming at the gams.
I heard your intro as I ran to the toilet.
Go on, what did you... Tell me what you thought.
This show is basically frivolous and stupid. That's what he said.
Yeah, that's right. And I goes, and under the skin,
set the bar really
which
low.
we'll be doing afterwards, I said to him, that is, I goes, it's probably still frivolous and stupid, but there is a pretence of high-mindedness.
Ah, so he's doing under the... What is it called again?
Under My Skin,
Under My
with
Skin.
Russell Brand. Under the Skin, yeah. Coxie's going to be doing that. Now,
Oh,
so
is
this
he?
one, that's why, in this one, we can have a bit of fun. Now, I do want to ask him some intelligent questions. I do want to get under the skin. I do want to get to the very depths of things.
Well,
I want
did
to
you
see
hear
what's
that
below the surface.
The US, there was a story just before we went on.
What was it?
They've admitted they were searching for aliens or something. UFO budget was 15 billion, was it?
Was it?
I mean, I don't know the facts.
Not
clearly.
enough. Keep looking, I say. The truth's out there.
And there's something about a black hole down there.
There's a black hole
In
down
the-
there.
in the
I knew
news
it.
stories.
I bloody knew it.
Oh,
What?
Matt in a nappy. Someone's
Right, okay, no, look, I'm going to get all my questions for Brian Cox from the Daily Mail. Like, stuff like this. Like, I've got a copy of the Daily Mail here. I'm going to say stuff like, now listen, Brian, I shall say. Oh, that's too depressing. TV's great egg race. Heinz Wolf dies. Oh, that's what you said earlier. I won't bring that up. That's sad, and commiserations to his family and loved ones. Don't snaffle the Queen's posh mince, Meghan. And yes, that boar's head is for your dinner. Majesty, your late father and I would throw many a banquet, but midway through those banquets we would march out from the table which had been concealing our waist-down nudity up to that point. We would scamper like crabs into a clearing in the woods, our lobster claw feet pawing at the soil, and once there, into a clearing, spotting perhaps a lowly cur or other creature of the Lord, we would grip it by its shoulders, flip it so its underneath was exposed to the shimmering moon, and then, Majesty, and only then, would your father produce from his pyjama pocket a vanity case, and within that vanity case there was an emery board, and he would take that emery board and file at the cur's appendage, first very quickly, then slowly, till there was a flat edge with a network of cells exposed, a cross-section like a honeycomb, and many of those cells were wet with larvae, and others seemingly empty, but a teardrop of gloop quivering within them. Ah, Majesty, such is the history of the British monarchy. I don't want any of that rubbish around Brian Cox.
Well done on keeping that clean.
Did well, didn't I, there?
Yes, very good.
That was in honour of Meghan Markle's, one of our best new royals. As you know, I love a royal, they're the best. Now, what's this? You held up something there? Was it important?
I just want to explain why I was
Time
in a
now
nappy.
for a story starring Matt Morgan, in which, for some reason, and we all know there's no possible reason why this is plausible or acceptable, is wearing a nappy. Matt, it's over to you.
Have you seen this?
No, I haven't, mate. What's going on? Why are you wearing a nappy?
Well, I'm wearing a baby grow in that one.
Why are you doing this?
There was a... This is not funny, but there was a...
No, I can see it's not. It's disturbing. It's macabre.
Well,
It's awful.
it backfired a bit because everyone was freaked out by it, but I thought it was funny. It was a
created a big
failed
set.
comedy pilot thing that I was involved in at one point.
Called what?
Didn't have a name, never got that far.
Well,
All that
here's
actually
one.
happened was I went round a woman's house and had an adult baby service.
Well, we know that's a road we've been down before, Matt, and it never ends
No.
well, does it?
No, we've both tried that, and
Why do we keep going round women's houses and having adult baby services, claiming it's in the name of entertainment, and never is a single show commissioned off the back of it? All that happens is you and I get beaten to a pulp
in nappies and have some conflicted feelings.
No,
on
but
the
it was a
car
very
ride
different
home.
experience to your one.
Why?
Because it wasn't violent or anything like that. It was actually... It's
Nurturing?
completely non-sexual. It's nurturing. You go there.
My one was nurturing.
I had a bath, nappy change, everything.
Did you, darling?
Yes.
Did you like it?
I didn't mind it.
Of course you didn't, because there's nothing nicer than a little bit of nurture, is there? And if you have to pop on a nappy for that, why not? What a perfect way to segue into one of Britain's finest minds. It's Professor Brian Cox, everyone. Please welcome him. Brian, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome.
Pleasure.
Welcome to the show. Let me lay that down. You shouldn't be
why do you
encumbered by that. Let's get out of your way.
Why do you have a photograph of a very muscular man on your music stand? Or is it you?
That's actually Matt Morgan, and it's been photoshopped for a while to achieve that effect, Professor Cox. Matt Morgan's rather a bloated individual, and I'm joking, who cares about that? But he's been handing these photographs maliciously out to members of the audience, whether they ask for them or not.
It's an impressive physique.
Well, he is actually...
It's gone down since then. After I achieved that
Talking about the physique generally, those of you at home listening on the wireless, you can't see some of the images, but let me tell you there's nothing priapic about it. Professor, you are the best guest we've ever had, I think it's safe to say, and that's not saying much, because it's been the scum of the earth up till now. It's absolute scumbags.
How long have you been doing the show?
Many years. Too long. Too long. Thank you for coming on here and popularising physics for us, because many people here are just absolutely baffled as to what's going on and how things are being held together, and it's about time we unravelled some of these mysteries.
Electromagnetism.
It's electromagnetism, I thought so. That's what's holding things together. Brian, what do you think is the component, other than your academic knowledge, that has propelled you to this position of stardom, high in the constellation of our culture? Look at that metaphor system I used.
It's a good question. I mean, the serious answer is luck, amongst other things.
Good luck.
I was asked to do this show, Wonders of the Solar System, almost 10 years ago now, I think, actually,
Wow.
8 or 9 years ago. And it was a big hit as a show.
Yes.
And it was almost an overnight change. The first show was broadcast, and then suddenly 3.5 million people or something watched it, and then I got invited onto chat shows. It was really, literally an overnight shift. Although I've been making Horizons and things like that and Radio 4 programmes for a long time.
So you'd had a lot of experience in broadcast, but it had stayed within sort of the conventional parameters. But that show, the popularity of it took you to another dimension. Perhaps you'll probably say it's this dimension, will you? In a physical sense, but just a better bit of it.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think... I mean, you yourself will know, I suppose, you can't really predict that there'll be something that changes your level of fame or recognition. And you can't plan those things, I don't think. They just happen, and it's fortunate. It's some mixture of the time and the place and the programme itself.
How was the purity of your fascination with your subject affected by the external influences of fame and celebrity? Was it diluted or in any way hindered?
It's a good question, because I did do less research. I did end up doing less research and less very, very insightful, deeply insightful.
Thank you, Professor. Actual Professor.
But I still... I just finished, actually. I still lecture at the University of Manchester, mainly because I enjoy it, and partly because they still employ me, so I have to do something. But also, I think it keeps you connected to what you always did. And teaching, particularly first years, which is so 18-year-olds that I teach, I jealously guard that time and make sure that I do it every year in September, October.
Do these brilliant ingenues that you are teaching bring you actually interesting questions and insights, or is it merely their enthusiasm and passion for the subject that connects with you?
As any teacher will say at any level, you always get asked things that you can't answer. There's always some new idea, some new way of looking at things that comes up, and that's one of the joys of teaching at any level, actually, because these are just straight out of A level. So, and I teach them relativity and quantum mechanics. So you might think, well, they don't know anything about that, and I could just... But every year someone asks something that I don't know the answer to, and I have to go and learn some more.
Is the joy of your job operating at the periphery of your own knowledge, and do you ever have like mad epiphanies where you go, oh my God, I've just realised something really important?
The joy of all science, scientific research, is about standing on the border between the known and the unknown. That's what research is. And so you have to be the kind of character.
They're laughing at me because, Brian...
He does have epiphanies. And when he has them, he goes...
The edgelands between the known and the unknown.
Yes, and it's your character as well. You have to be that kind of character that's comfortable with not knowing. And that, I think
I'm comfortable with not knowing, Brian.
Richard
next to nothing.
Richard Feynman, great Nobel Prize-winning physicist, said science is a satisfactory philosophy of ignorance, which I think is a beautiful definition of it. So it's the opposite of saying, I know everything. And we all know that with politics as it is today. You know, it's full of people who know. And the sort of person who knows everything is clearly not the sort of person who should be running the country. So it's a good way, I always think, of choosing who to vote for. It's the person who's less certain is the person who should get your vote.
But that's precisely the opposite of how the dynamics in contemporary politics works.
Yes.
Like that people understandably look for certainty, and we're seeing now an emergence of aged tropes of ethno-nationalism emerging into a time where globalisation necessarily shakes the certainty of ordinary people. Do you think that, like, physics can somehow inform people beyond the specificity of the subject and more philosophically and ideologically?
Yes, and by the way, I should just say, when I came in, you said this bit is the slightly lighter and sillier bit. So I don't know what we're going to talk about in the podcast later. But yeah, yes, and actually, Robert Oppenheimer, who is in some ways the father of the atomic bomb, right? He ran the Manhattan Project. In the 1950s, he did the Reith Lectures for the BBC, which and he talked about what science can inform politics and society, how can it inform it? And it was about that uncertainty, about the idea that nature forces you to hold ideas in your mind that seem mutually exclusive.
Ooh.
So they don't fit together.
Which is the secret, that's a famous Buddhist ideal, the being able to simultaneously hold two opposing concepts.
Exactly, and the example he gave, in quantum mechanics, you have to think of a particle sometimes as a little point of stuff that moves around like a little billiard ball, and sometimes as a wave. And so you've got to do that.
Oh, I like that.
Can I ask what it was like being in D-Ream?
It was 20 years
Things
ago.
can come true, apparently.
It's a good question. I was actually driving past the Royal Festival Hall the other day, and I remembered in 1997, which is the last thing that we did when I was in the band, was the election, the Tony Blair election night.
Thanks for that.
We went on stage. No, but 1997, it was a time of great optimism.
I know, we
and
have Noel Gallagher in here very frequently, and he uses the same excuse. We never knew, we didn't know, we were just having a bit of fun and a cup of tea.
Well, how would you...
Well, tell that to the children of Iraq.
Yeah, but how would you have known? I mean, it was years in the future, wasn't it?
Yeah,
but
it was Noel Gallagher for Iraq. However, Palestine. Come on, Noel.
It was a very different time. But you know, so that was the last thing I did.
That must be extraordinary, because actually your first interface with fame is like, you know, bursting beyond its conventional boundaries is when you were scoring the ascent of Tony Blair.
Well, yeah.
What was that? That must have been unusual.
It was just, I mean, the song itself was a hit in 92 or 93, I think. And then Labour asked us whether we minded if they used it for that campaign. And I always tell everyone at that time, if you remember, everybody, even John Major, I think, supported Labour at that time. Everybody supported that
John
change.
Major could be seen singing "Things Can Only Get Better" in his greying pants at his wife. And several other women, it's later come out. That's not controversial to say now. We can now say that there was a philanderer in number 10, a synecdoche of the seat of government.
That's a good name.
Thank you.
What is it? What does it mean?
Image that stands for something else. Like, so when you say number 10, you know what that represents. You don't have to say number 10 Downing Street, where the Prime Minister operates his systems of power from. Or
you
she.
can't teach him things.
Can do. Just asked me a question. Now, we've got some proper questions here from Professor Cox, from our beloved listeners. Just wondering... well, Prof, you'll like this. Just wondering what happens when you die. And that's from Little Millie May. We had a 5-year-old girl listening to the show earlier. I'm guessing Professor Cox will have the most educated answer. So, Professor Cox, on a light-hearted inquiry there, what is after death or life?
Actually, I wrote about this recently, and I'm not trying to plug it, in the book, the Infinite Monkey Cage book, which is my book of my radio series. And I claim that physics, as we know it today, forbids the existence of ghosts.
Physics as we know it today forbids it.
Yeah, I claim, and the argument is that if you think there's a spirit inside you that's going to last after you die, then that spirit, that thing has to interact with the matter of your body. It's presumably the thing, if I move my hand around now, it's presumably the thing that's telling my hand to move about. But we know how matter interacts very precisely, and we see no evidence at all of any kind of extra force or extra kind of substance or thing that interacts with matter. This is what we do. The Large Hadron Collider at CERN is an experiment that tries to understand how matter interacts.
We know how matter interacts with consciousness, the experiencer.
Well, it has to be it has to be something that makes matter move, right? That's what if you postulate something, a spirit, consciousness, some other ethereal thing that makes your body move, it has to interact with it. And because it has to interact with it, that means that whatever it is has to fit in with the theories that we have about matter.
It has to have an interface, like you said, that science exists with the known and the unknown, so presumably at this periphery, consciousness and matter have to have some relationship, presumably some sort of electromagnetic relationship.
Well, exactly. But so it has to be something that interacts with the physical world.
Yes.
And so then you're quite narrow in the things you can invent to interact with the physical world, because we spend a lot of time measuring how the physical world works.
And it is this act of measuring which ultimately must travel through the 5 apertures of the senses, precisely which limits our ability to see things which may exist beyond postulation.
Let's say a spirit, a ghost, right? Well, a ghost.
Yeah, but these are straw men, aren't they? These are straw spirits and ghosts. That's all. Fluffy
but if you think a ghost is something that you can see, right? If it's something that floats, if it's that kind of ghost, the thing that floats in your room at night or something. Well, if you
like
can see
Scooby-Doo.
a Scooby-Doo ghost, but if you can see it, then it means that it interacts with photons, which are particles of light.
Unless it's existing somehow in the consciousness and bypassing the sensorial realm, because all sensual information has to be reconditioned and recreated in the consciousness at some point.
Well, that would be an explanation of why two people never see one. But if only one person sees it, then you could make that argument, I suppose. That
this is going to be a good under the skin.
This is going to be a good under the skin.
There's already tension.
And have we gone off way off track on this?
I know, because we wanted to talk about Scooby-Doo, Dream. Hold on, let's see. Right, we're going to when we come back, Brian, we're going to have some questions such as what's the most beautiful poetic concept in the understanding of the universe? No, because it's the adverts, and after the adverts, you can ask the question.
Guys.
Now, what we're going to do is keep it a little bit lighter, because Under the Skin is very much built on the relationship between science and spirituality.
You told me before that don't do that. Be frivolous, and I've come in and started talking about
you've both gone quite
ghosts. Serious. Yeah, we've gone a bit serious. Right, after this, Brian, we're going to look this much more. This is 1992. You're writing things can only get better. At this point, Tony Blair is a puckish, joyful character who we can't envisage at any point bombing kids. Let's have some adverts. Hey, that's just words happening now, describing events. Adverts.
Radio X. Russell Brand Radio.
Yes, you are listening to Russell Brand on Radio X. Now, momentarily what happened is things got a little bit heavy because there was a professor in the room and I got excited, but now we are going to lower the tone. We're going to make things a lot lighter as we come to our final link, and we've got some light-hearted questions for Professor Brian Cox. Matthew Morgan, have you got a light-hearted question?
You know, they keep finding planets that are sort of Earth-like. So the NASA have found enough planets that could support human beings. Would you go, if there was like a mission to go there and to sort of restart again, right?
That's heavy. Don't make it Armageddon. Light-hearted.
No, not
Pop there for holidays.
Yes.
Would
you be interested in going? Would you be interested in going?
I got asked that a while ago, and I said I'll go when the first very good hotel has been constructed there. Because it will be the case that the first people to go to Mars or the first people to go to one of these planets, it will be horrendous. Frontier living. You'll have to build everything yourself. It'll be. I'm going to go when they've built a Mandarin Oriental or something along those lines.
Otherwise it'll be full of space ghosts, and we all hate those, don't we, guys?
Physically impossible. Anyway,
no, but in space, Brian, no one can hear you scream. The ghosts all love it up there. And are there any other light-hearted questions? Yeah, thank you. Brilliant, light-hearted answer. Any questions here of a light-hearted? Look at this ragtag scruff bag bunch. Not a single question amongst them.
There is.
Oh, sorry.
What do you want for Christmas? What do you want for Christmas?
What do I want for Christmas? I don't.
Not from me, just in general.
Yeah, I was going to say thank you.
Sarcastic. We get a professor in here, and you show us up. with sarcasm.
I actually don't know.
You've lowered the tone too much there, is what you've done. Matt pitched it quite well. I've got one. Quiet, you lot, please. You're only allowed to participate in a limited capacity to lighten the mood when required. It's been lightened now sufficiently. We had a flat earther in here, and he said, the Earth's flat and there's a dome over it. Now, Neil deGrasse Tyson says that when he's arguing with someone, he says that if he asked them, is there anything I could say to you that would change your perspective? And if they say no, he don't bother arguing anymore. Like if he went evidence, photographs from space, mathematical theories, he don't bother. Now, what do you think about flat earthers? Why would a theory of that nature emerge at this time?
I have absolutely no idea, because it is a ridiculous idea. There's no doubt about it. It's complete nonsense. So I think you can't really understand it. You can't say, why would somebody think the Earth is flat? It's a deeper issue that there's something else going on in their mind.
It can't just be it looks flat. It looks flat when you walk on it.
It doesn't, though, because honestly, my 8-year-old, I don't know why he started talking about this the other day, but he said, why don't they watch a ship sail over the horizon? And you go, yeah, that's an 8-year-old that just told you the answer. Watch a ship sail. You'll see it go, and you'll see the mast go slowly, and it goes away. That's all you have to do. You don't have to do anything else.
That'd be the end of it.
That was an unprompted suggestion about
from
what
an
they might do to disabuse themselves of the ridiculous notion. And the other thing is, though, they accept that planets around are spherical, because obviously you can see that through a telescope. So they accept the moon is spherical. They accept that Mars and Jupiter and all those things you can see, but they think the Earth is different.
Maybe they think that Jupiter is like an emoji, like it looks round, but it's actually flat behind it, like a hamburger.
I think it might just be trolling. Actually, I don't accept that there's anyone who actually believes it. I think they're just having fun or trying to make.
Professor, they do, because we had one on the show, and we were sort of going, "No, come on, mate, do you really?" And he goes, yeah, I do. I'm really into it, and I actually believe it. And the only bit I quite liked was that it would be like a snow dome, and that I enjoyed as an image. Living in a snow dome seemed to me like something.
Yeah, but his was that the planets and stuff are projection. It's all fake, and it's all like a.
We're living in a laboratory conditions, like Truman Show.
Yeah, so they get around any sort of scientific. Argument by just saying it's a projection or
because most conspiracies you can kind of understand what's going on, so you might think there's a government conspiracy and who killed Kennedy and all those things, and you can see how you can build some sort of construct in your mind that someone would benefit from this conspiracy. What is the point of everybody pretending that the Earth is spherical when it's flat? Who wins?
We convince them that it's spherical, but really it's nice and flat. Ka-ching, ka-ching. We're quitting. Yeah, you're right. We did ask him that. We said, which people benefit from that? And he said, it's like because of the ideological, like he says, like if everything. I don't know. I don't want satisfied with his answer. Thinking about it now,
understand it. He couldn't.
Yeah, it's like who's making money out of an apparently flat Earth conspiracy?
Can I ask another question?
Matt, what's the tone of it first? Because the last one was very good. It was the right tone.
Like the double slit experiment.
Oh no, not double slits, mate. Not double slits. We're not doing double slits. Can you do it in a light-hearted way?
I can do. This is what.
Right, Brian can do it light-hearted. Light-hearted double slits.
Explain what it is for an idiot.
Oi, I'm still here, you know.
If you imagine in your mind's eye a sort of a big piece of cardboard with two slits cut through it, and imagine what. What are you imagining?
Just a bit of cardboard, Brian.
And is it the cardboard or the slits?
Both together. Saucy.
And
let him do his job.
And imagine a water wave going through.
Yeah.
And then you can imagine these little sort of wave fronts of the water going through these things, and you get like a wavy pattern. If you look at some point past the slits, you see a wavy pattern. Well, you see that with single particles. If you fire them at a pair of slits, you see a wavy pattern on the other side. So if you just think of a part. I want to know what's in your head.
We all do, really. It's all
under
very
the skin,
worrying.
We'll do all that, and under the skin, we'll go right into the depths of the mind.
So the point is that it shows you that particles don't behave like little grains of dust. When you look at how they behave sometimes like little grains of dust. Like they hit things, and they're always some. When you look for them, you say, "Where are you?" They're always somewhere, like a little point of stuff. But they behave a bit like a wave, which is an extended thing.
Is it true that they if they know when they're being watched, and so they perform differently when someone's observing them?
No, I think probably not. I think that's an old interpretation of the theory. But it is, the point is that matter, at the smallest levels, the stuff out of which we are made, does not behave in the way that we might think. It doesn't behave as little pieces of stuff. It behaves... If you put a single particle in this room now and sit it in the room and you say, where is it? Then it can be anywhere in the room. So it's an extended...
But we'll find it. We'll find that particle, whether it's whatever it is, whatever it tries to mask itself as, a wave or a little speck of dust. We will track it down. The laws of reality fluctuating, but time, it seems, must be obeyed. Professor Brian Cox, we now have to conclude
It wasn't sufficiently light-hearted, so we're throwing
too heavy. That's too heavy.
You failed.
No, that was brilliant. Actually, it's just that the show's got to end. And Mr. G here is the poet laureate of the show. He summarises everything using poetry, which he uses in thanks to Kronos, the Greek god who kind of gave us the time framework. He does it in time with poems and rhymes. Ladies and gentlemen, live on the mic is Mr. G, everyone.
Okay, this poem's called From Orion's Belt. We three kings of radio are lost in space on an asteroid cigar, with simian stories of Thumbo's opposing glory to a Wilhelm scream from a coffee-stained car. A show of wonder, a show of delights, how of Mr. Gams foaming with croutons inside. Strictly dancing the absurd, retiling what just occurred, lest our angelic words be confused with a curse. A supermassive show, covering the stellar to the intermediate. From the nappy to the nan to all the particles in between, we give peace and blessings broadcasted to the fullest of stars, coming from we three kings of Radio XR.
Oh my word, he did it all on the mic. Not a single error, not a single mistake. Summarising all of the show's content. How can he do it? Is he a wave? Is he a particle? Is he even a man? On those rare occasions where Mr. G comes in here, aside from helping people in prisons and Grenfell and whatnot, you glorious philanthropist, you elevate the content of this show to be worthy of a professor, not just a few cretins scrambling about, exchanging language like pennies in a playground. Okay, so the show's nearly over. Have you enjoyed it, live audience? Those of you at home, have you enjoyed it? Shout now in your car. Shout at your parents. Shout at your captors. Free yourselves from the chains in your mind. Find some fusion between science and spirituality. Discard the old ideologies. Find within yourself great glory at this seasonal time. Professor Brian Cox, you've been an amazing guest. You really navigated the realms of seriousness to frivolity rather well, I thought.
I hope so. Well, thank you.
I mean, you explained the double slit theory, which many of us were very amused by. Matt was a bit childish, I thought, during that particular section.
I'm going to find out what was in your head when we do the podcast later.
It will all be projected onto a screen of reality here in the external realm, and the object and the subject will be as one. Finally truth arrives. Matt, have you got anything to add to this fiasco?
No, I'm very...
I've noticed that.
I've enjoyed... What?
I'm joking.
I've enjoyed the live element. I think it's all right.
It's been brilliant. I love doing it live. I love doing it with an audience. I want to say thank you to Adagio Teas for persevering. In spite of the low quality of the beverage, filthy, stinking juice, Satan's acrid fumes distilled into a tea bag.
That's her job. You're going to get her sacked.
How can we... She can't be sacked. That
Can
fat
you be
cat,
sacked?
she'll be all right. She'll just start another corporation, ransacking the port to
She
make
needs a
few
picture with
quid.
us. We need to endorse it.
Boo, Adagio Teas. Boo to Adagio Teas. You here in the audience, have you enjoyed it very much? Yes. Yeah, well, I'm very glad that you did. Now, we're going to, due to the nature of capitalist consumerism, there will be some commercials coming up to provide a buffer between this show and the next one, run by Gordon Smart. After that, ex-England winger Trevor Sinclair will be giving you his perspective on the interface between the known and the unknown. And remember,
Merry
of course,
Christmas.
Merry Christmas, or what you might want to call it, Festivus, if you're a Seinfeld fan, or there's probably some other religious ceremonies that happen around that time, and they're one for... What's that one that's for the Zoroastrians? And they're one called... Yeah, them. Don't they have one?
Probably, they've got a celebration.
Whatever image system you use to align your relationship with the unknown with, Brian Cox, it will be something to do with science. What do you do over Christmas?
I will be, realigning my relationship with the unknown using wine.
Realign your relationship with the unknown using chemicals on your mind. Radio X, we've enjoyed it. We don't know when we'll be back. That is the truth. But if you want us back, pester those big bosses, Dennis and Clive, because they will be foaming at the gams at the quality of this content.
No one tells me anything. Are we off now?
We're not on the radio. We won't be on in January. We don't know when we will be back.
Right.
Until then, I would like you to spend the time between 11 and 1 on a Sunday in total silence. Sit in silence and think of Matt Morgan. I know, because no one's decided. I might be in America making a big TV show, but we just don't know.
What?
Oh, yeah, there's so much going on. This could have all been content. What's wrong with us? Right, anyway, Merry Jesus, and we will see you soon. We will be back. By God, we'll be back. By Allah, we'll be back. By Yahweh, we'll be back. By any one of them entities that represent pure consciousness, we will be back.
I'm watching this. Fantastic. There's still 18 seconds.
Yeah, he goes on a massive rant.
Scientist to the end. He's evaluating the entire thing. Should we be going to adverts?
I thought you peaked too soon. There's about 10 seconds.
I had to be about 3 peaks in there, but as you know from my past, it's something I can do. Multiple climaxes, something that old Russ used to offer. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have brought this live fiasco to a conclusion. A carnival where flesh meets joy. The apex of the unknown. Merry Jesus, everyone. Goodbye. Thank you very much.
Bye.
This evening from 7, The Sunday Social. At 4, the best of British. Up next, Smart on Sunday with Gordon Smart.